Chapter 4: The Color Cube. Tridimensional Color Theory. Color Theory. Color, as demonstrated by Isaac Newton in the 17th century, is the dispersion of light in its waves. Color has three dimensions: brightness, tone, and saturation. The rule of the game is the brightness or light. The brighter the light, the more color, and when light is absent, color disappears. The game is the tone, and goes from brilliant on one side to opaque on the opposite. And the result of the game is the saturation that goes from high to low density. The nada is the color black, the absence of color. On the opposite side, white is the combination of all colors. Black is chaos, white is order. Color cube: bright, game, tone, concentration, intention, saturation, opaque, darkness, light, dispersion, rule, luminosity. The color cube can be divided in another tridimensional cube because all the colors in the world can be obtained from the three primary colors and their opposite secondary colors. Between the three primary additive colors, red, green, and blue, and the three secondary subtractive colors, cyan, yellow, and magenta, all the colors in the world can be obtained. RGB, red, green, and blue, are called additive colors because a higher saturation of these make the color darker. On the opposite, CMYK, cyan, magenta, and yellow, are called subtractive because their higher saturation make the color lighter. Color cube. We build the color cube with these three additive and three subtractive colors, RGB and CMYK. With these six basic colors that form also the black and white, we can create all the colors in the world. The position of each color in the cube is not arbitrary. It follows a strict logical order with black on one extreme, 0, 0, 0, and white on the other, 1, 1, 1. The 3 points closer to 0, 0, 0 host the RGB or primary colors. Those closer to the 1, 1, 1 host the CMY colors. Therefore, all the colors in the world fit inside the color cube. The following combinations illustrate how all colors can be created from the basic RGB and CMY colors. Purple 0.5.5 is halfway between blue 0, 0, 1. Brown Maroon 0.500 is in between red 1, 0, 0, and black 0, 0, 0. Chartreuse 0.510 is in between yellow 1, 1, 0, and green 0, 1, 0, and gray is halfway between black 0, 0, 0, and white 1, 1, 1. And so, all the colors in the world can be created by combining the 8 colors in the extremes of the color cube. The unique features of the color cube are that both systems are integrated within one model, and that this model not only explains how colors are created, but also how they are perceived by the human eye. Cyan is the opposite of red, green is the opposite of magenta, yellow is the opposite of blue, and black is the opposite of white. The experiments that follows will illustrate how the human eye perceives tridimensional colors. Watch the following picture for 40 seconds, and then view a white surface. The brain creates an identical image with the opposite color, or negative. Black is replaced by white, and vice versa. Same happens with the colors. Watch the black dot in the center of the green cube, and then turn to a white wall. You will see magenta, the opposite color, and vice versa. Repeat the experiment with red and cyan, blue and yellow, and the results will be the same. As noted before, the colors are not placed in the cube arbitrarily. There is a scientific reason, which is that the brain creates an image of the opposite color to maintain equilibrium. Only those who suffer color blindness are unable to perceive trichromacy, or normal three-dimensional color vision. Look at the black dot in the middle for 40 seconds, then turn the page. Is this the image your brain created? Look at the black dot in the middle for 40 seconds, then turn the page. What do you see? Is this the image your brain created? Look at the black dot in the middle for 40 seconds, then turn the page. What do you see? Is this the image your brain created? Look at the black dot in the middle for 40 seconds, then turn the page. What do you see? Is this the image your brain created? The balance of the mind. Our mind attempts to create a balance when exposed to colors. What this means in terms of uCube is that it has polarity. For simplicity purposes, we place the point 0, 0, 0 in the bottom of the cube and 1, 1, 1 in the opposite extreme, but physically speaking, the point 0, 0, 0. Black is -1, -1, -1. White is 1, 1, 1. And a color called vacuo, the middle between the 8 extremes and the only color in the world without an opposite. It's the color printers use to collaborate their machines. The physics of color prove that all reality is dual. Positive and negative forces coexist and complement each other, creating a delicate balance that our mind perceives and understands. In order to model our reality and simplify the analysis, we normalize the cube from 0 to 1. But in reality, positive and negative forces coexist and interact constantly in our tridimensional space. If we combine the color cube with the human essence cube, we obtain the following analogies. Blue. Blue is the color of the sky and the ocean. Blue calls to mind feelings of calmness or serenity. It is peaceful, tranquil, secure, and orderly. Blue lowers the pulse rate and body temperature. It invokes rest and can cause the body to produce chemicals that are calming. Blue is the color of the body and the rules. Green. Green says nature, as well as initiative and wealth. It's associated with money. It's also the color of spring, a time of rebirth and renewal. Green symbolizes intelligence, fertility, youth, wealth, good luck, vigor, natural abundance, growth, and creative intelligence, among others. Green is believed to be the luckiest of colors. It may also symbolize hope, the go traffic light. It's viewable well over distances. Red. The most emotionally intense color, red stimulates a faster heartbeat and breathing. Red is associated with bravery, heat, energy, blood, and emotions that stir the blood, including anger, passion, love, pain, and sacrifice. Restaurants decorated with red or orange fixings are meant to open the appetite and make people leave quickly when satisfied. Because of its visibility, stop signs, stoplights, brake lights, and fire equipment are all painted red. Red is the color of spirit. Black. Black symbolizes death. Therefore, it is used in Western cultures for funerals. It is marked with rebellion, the bad guy, shrouded in mystery, space. In our model, black is the color of chaos. White. White is the color that represents purity, neutrality, sterility, and youth. White is often associated with cleanliness or sterility, neutrality, and peace. The bride wears white, the color of virginity. White is known for symbolizing light, reverence, truth, innocence, simplicity, security, humility, sterility, life, marriage, and hope. In our model, white is the color of order. In a bidimensional world, the path from black to white would be different shades of gray. But in our tridimensional world, it passes through millions of colors. All points have a dose of black: red, green, blue, cyan, yellow, magenta, and white. So as we move from chaos or black, 0, 0, 0, into order or white, 1, 1, 1, we pass through many different colors. In uCube, the path between black and white passes, for instance, through a color called vacuo, which has exactly 0.5 red, 0.5 blue, 0.5 green, 0.5 magenta, 0.5 yellow, 0.5 cyan, 0.5 white, and 0.5 black. Vacuo is the only color that doesn't have an opposite, the only where the brain cannot create a different image to achieve balance. It's the only color located right in the middle of uCube. The opposite of vacuo is vacuo. The path from black to white. uCube proposes a new language where bidimensional paradigms are replaced by tridimensional, where 4 extremes are replaced by 8, where energies, ideas, rules, and intentions all move in 3 directions. Bidimensional concepts are easier to understand and assimilate. That is why religions paint everything black or white, good and bad, God and evil. Bidimensional concepts can be decomposed into intermediate points between extremes. For instance, shades of gray between black and white, warm water between vapor and ice, economic policy between politics and economics, and social policy between politics and society. But all these combinations are still bidimensional. And bidimensional models don't work because even if a government or individual decides to ignore Z or equate X to Z, if X equals Z, then movement is constrained to a single plane. That doesn't mean tridimensional forces are not in play. The ignored axis will eventually manifest. This manifestation is not necessarily negative. For instance, calories can be obtained from fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. On a no-carb diet, one of the three groups is ignored in order to lower weight and improve overall health. But carbs cannot be ignored forever, as worse imbalances will occur. Dualities, multiplicities, and tridimensionality. Duality is part of the essence of uCube. Each axis has a duality, but also the extremes of the cube 0, 0, 0 and 1, 1, 1 represent themselves another duality. The difference with linear thinking is that uCube understands these dualities as the result of the interaction of variables and not phenomena by themselves. In other words, black equals interaction of red, green and blue and white, interaction of cyan, magenta, and yellow. So black and white are not opposites by divine grace, but because they represent chaos and order of the earthly colors and the luminous colors. Another example, synergy, is the interaction of motion, acceleration, and action, positive dynamics, while entropy is the contrary, and the interaction of stillness, deceleration, and reaction, negative dynamics. Mens sana in corpo sano is a bidimensional paradigm. Mens sana et bona fide in corpore sano is the tridimensional equivalent. This is the new universal language proposed by uCube.